Hey, yo! Welcome to the 5th edition of VGR Lockdown. I am your host, Double A Ron, along with my cousin Steven. What's going on, bro?
Not much, man. What's going on?
Man, ain't nothing, man. Well, we got ourselves a special guest, the poet, the artist, the wrestling fanatic, my main man, Daryl Tibbs. What's up, D?
Yo, what's up, man?
Man, I'd like to thank you for coming on to our show.
No problem.
I know you missed a lot. We got a lot of wrestling to talk about today. We got the rampage of Braun Strowman. We got the possible career-ending injury of Paige. We got Jason Jordan, the Delusional Shield member. We got Sasha. We got Rusev poor booking, and we got Bobby Roode winning United States champion, and we got so much else to get into. So let's just go ahead and start with Braun Strowman. Him getting fired. What y'all think about that?
Well, man, him going crazy for about 2 hours, man, that excited me.
Yeah, I like to say, he's my favorite. He got to be by far my favorite thing about Monday Night Raw. I mean, him beating up security, saying he ain't leaving till everybody gets them hands. And my absolute favorite part is when he beat Kurt Hawkins up and he was standing backstage and he just ran up to that man with the cake who was frozen like a statue. Looked like he was about to whoop him. Looked at him crazy, just took the cake and walked off. Braun Strowman is just really entertaining, man. And Steven is a Braun Strowman hater, man. What you think about Braun Strowman?
I am not a Braun Strowman. I hate bad writing, but I'm not a Braun Strowman hater. But I mean, in 3 hours, he went from fired to rehired randomly for no reason, and then beat up on Michael Cole. I mean.
Well, Michael Cole getting his ass whooped is always entertaining. I mean, we could all agree that is always fun to see Michael Cole get beat up. Yeah. But him getting rehired in the same night was dumb. I think they could have dragged that on to at least one more week. And then the thing I noticed about Braun Strowman is he always uses his occupation to make a big entry. Like it was an ambulance one time, then it was a dumpster truck. So I think it'd have been cool next week to see him coming in a police car. I think that would have, I mean, for real, you use an occupation, you might as well come in with a police car and then jump out and say, and rip up the handcuffs. I think that would have been cool. So I think they should have arrested him and then him get reinsert himself into the match.
Well, I think the police car is a bit overrated. We could have done something else more. Stone Cold Steve Austin's done the police car, so.
No, he hasn't. He never came in with a police car.
Well,
when did he come in with a police car?
I believe one time he got arrested.
He got arrested?
They took him away in the police car, and then later on in the show, he came back driving the police car. And
he drove so many things. I don't remember the police car, though. I was 6, but I don't remember the police car, though. I remember he like the forklift. He drove so many things to the ring.
You were 5 when that happened. So
but I really don't remember him coming back in a police car. But they rip stuff off from the Attitude Era all the time. And since he got arrested in a police car, for him to come back in a police car would have made sense as far as the things that they do with Braun Strowman. But I will say him getting rehired in the same night was dumb. And Kurt Angle being afraid of Stephanie. Y'all know how I feel about that woman.
It's not being afraid of Stephanie.
Yes.
If Stephanie decides that, he's rehired, who is he to tell his boss, no, I'm not going to rehire?
No, she was calling him while this was all going on, and he was terrified that she was calling him. Like, oh, my God, my job.
I mean, he did fire Braun Strowman, and now you got him running around on a rampage tearing stuff up. I mean, wouldn't you be terrified of you got your boss yelling and screaming at you in one ear. Then you also got to worry about Braun Strowman coming out of nowhere and beating you down at the same time. I mean, that's kind of a terrifying situation.
Not to me. Not to an Olympic gold medalist. Not to someone who used to be a badass in Kurt Angle. Not to me.
See, but what you said used to be. He knows that Braun Strowman will give him those
hands. He just wrestled this year, Steven.
Okay, but he ain't wrestled Braun Strowman. He was on Braun Strowman's team.
Oh, well. It's not like he's some 6-year-old retired dude with a bad neck. And I mean, if Undertaker could do it, Kurt Angle could stand up to Braun Strowman. It's all good. But I will agree with y'all that, that him getting rehired in the same night was kind of dumb. But the segment in itself of him running backstage was entertaining to me.
I would have liked to see him beat down more people, though. I mean, you said you're not leaving until everybody get these hands. It would have been nice to just see them walk around with a camera and you just see superstars left and right laid out wherever they were.
Yeah, well, I agree. I totally agree. So
I think the reason why he didn't go after superstars was for their safety. Now, when it came to security, that was a different story. Security it didn't matter.
He don't care about no safety. He just pulled a what was it? The scalping down on Kane and Brock Lesnar last week. He don't care about nobody's safety.
Well, that was the reason why. That was the reason why they weren't there that night. They needed time to heal. That was the reason why.
Man, that was everything about that was cool. So, like I said, Braun Strowman's my man. I'm happy they made a shirt for him. I'm definitely copping the shirt as soon as I get the opportunity. And I will say, you really got to commend the security people, which we all know are indie stars who are trying to look for a WWE contract. But they bumped well for Braun Strowman. I think back to that night where it was him, Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns in like a fight, and security came out there. And he threw that one security dude over the top rope like that, and he landed. Y'all remember that bump?
Mm-hmm.
Where he threw him damn near to the first row?
Yep.
And then he landed right there close to his neck and his back. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was dangerous, but it looked good on TV.
Right.
But they really sell well for Braun Strowman. I mean, and granted, he probably, throws him around well. But that's enough on Braun. Let's get into Paige, man. People, she's talking about Sasha Banks kicked Paige in the back. Her career could be done, but they didn't really acknowledge it on Raw. She was just walking out with absolution.
Well, I mean, they took her out of the Rumble. They announced that she's out of the Rumble.
She's done.
But pretty much, it's one of those situations where she's done. Similar to Daniel Bryan, where no matter how many doctors say, "Oh, she's good to go, she's good to go," they're not going to clear her to wrestle again. Which, definitely sucks for her. I mean, she's in her mid-20s and her wrestling career is pretty much, it's over.
Yeah. Well, you think she could go somewhere else and get cleared? Because I know they stop him from wrestling in places sometimes where it's a little unnecessary, like Daniel Bryan. Like, he's cleared by so many doctors, but WWE won't pass it.
Well, they're not going to clear. They're not going to let her go anywhere either.
How many years do you think she has on her contract?
Probably 2-3 more. But the thing is that when she was hurt the last time with the neck injury and Alberto Del Rio left, she wanted to leave then. She requested her release from her contract. They told her no. And willingly let her be out for almost 18 months or something like that and kept her under contract. So I don't see them letting her go now. Especially since they had that movie coming out about her family's life and everything. So pretty much she's going to have to sit around just like Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. I feel like she's a real tragic star. I mean, first she had them leaked videos. Yeah. Then she had that crazy chaotic relationship with Alberto Del Rio. Then it was a neck injury. Then, all this stuff was happening to her. And then she finally seems like she was finding her stride. So she's in a group. She comes back. She's working. She's in a pretty decent spot. And then this happens. It messes her career up. So, I mean, I feel real bad for her, man. But hopefully she can get it all together. I mean,
there's life after this injury. I mean, just because she's hurt doesn't mean that that's over for her and her group. Pretty much, she can still be there. And instead of wrestling, she'll just be their mouthpiece.
Yeah, well, I don't think she wants to do. She'll do it, but I think she'd rather get in the ring and wrestle. So, I don't know, and I believe that they're going to find a replacement for her.
I don't think they're going to replace her.
I hope not, but I think that's what they're going to do.
Because
they're building, the thing that I could tell they're building is for them to fight the Riot Squad. So, I mean, now that she's hurt, what is the point?
They don't need to fight the Riot Squad.
I think that's what they've been building.
I mean, they're on two separate brands.
They were going to have them cross paths. I can guarantee you.
In the Women's Royal Rumble, sure.
No, they were going to evade each other's show eventually, and they were going to cross paths. I can guarantee you that was going to happen.
If that did happen, it would be at Bragging Rights or Survivor Series.
No, it wasn't going to take that long.
Sure it would. I mean, they don't cross paths that often. How often do you see them just randomly pop up? You got Raw superstars on SmackDown. It's like, oh, we're here for no reason.
Hey, isn't Kurt Hawkins on SmackDown?
No, he's on Raw.
No, he was on Raw getting beat up by Braun Strowman, but he's on SmackDown.
I mean, who keeps track of where a guy that's like 0 and 170 and they're like, does it really matter what show you're on? Your job is there to show up and get beat up and lose.
That's true. Yeah, well, I can see what you're saying. I feel like that's what they were going to build towards, especially since they made all of them look pretty much the same. So they was going to accuse the other ones of ripping each other off. They was going to cross paths, but I don't think you could really do that now since she's hurt.
I think you're giving them too much credit. I think you're giving their writers a little too much credit.
There's no way that was coincidental that all those girls look that much alike and debuted around the same time.
Sure it is. I mean, you see the purpose of it right now. Why debut 6 brand new people? It's going to be kind of hard to fill up a 30-woman's Royal Rumble with less people than what they had. I'm still figuring out now, and I think they're... What? I think they got between the 2 divisions 20 women or something like that. I'm like, they still got another 10 spots to fill.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why they got debuted at the same time, more than likely.
And looked exactly the same, and involved in the same storyline.
They brought them up the exact same way they looked in NXT. It's not like they gave them a new image that happened to be.
And they were a group of NXT too.
No, they weren't. It's just like the Shield. The Shield was in NXT. Were they a group in NXT? No, they weren't.
Was there another Samoan and a crazy guy and another guy who jumps and does flips debuting the next week on a different show that's dressed in black coming from the audience? That didn't happen. That's what I'm telling you. The Wyatt family was the closest thing to a 3-man group that debuted, and that was a year later.
And you know what they did, though? When the Wyatt family came up what? Looking exactly the same way they did in NXT. If you look at all the other people they bring them up exactly like they looked on NXT. So the women, unfortunately, yeah, they all looked alike, but they still brought them up exactly how they looked on NXT.
That's not my point. My point is their 2 groups was not established on NXT. So the fact that you bring up these girls that look alike in a group around the same time in the same circumstances looks really bad. And I have to think that that's going to tie into a storyline. I can't think that that's just a coincidence. That's just how the cookie crumbled. It has to have been a reason why they did that. The writers are not that stupid. They could be dumb, but they're just not that stupid. I got to believe that they're not that stupid. That it was a reason why they did that. I have to believe that. No. I don't believe the writers are that dumb. I can't.
Really? You don't believe the writers are that dumb?
I don't want to. No. Not a couple, but I don't want to believe that they are. Okay, I want to believe that there was a purpose for it. I want to believe it. I have to believe it. For me to keep watching this product for years on years on years, week for 3 hours, pretty much it's 8 hours of wrestling we have to watch a week in order to keep up. I have to believe that they're smarter than that. That's what I'm saying.
Like I said, you giving them a little too much credit.
Can't. No way.
Honestly, I think that Absolution is going to get a new leader.
And that's what I said.
I don't think they're going to get a new leader. If anything, they might get a fourth person.
As in who?
Anybody.
Not Paige, but
you got a whole bunch of women down there in NXT. Mm-hmm. You can just bring any of them up to, fill in as that third member that can actually wrestle. But Paige isn't going to go anywhere. Because it's going to serve them no purpose to keep Paige under contract, because they're not going to fire her and just have her disappear.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that maybe she was going to announce her retirement or do something with like how they did with Bayley. And I don't think Paige would have got booed the same way Bayley did. That was crazy when she got booed because she announced her shoulder injury. Them fans was pretty messed up.
Well, Bayley's not. I'll say this: Bayley is soft.
That's her gimmick, girl.
But too soft. That's the reason why I say that. Because she's she comes off too soft to the fans. That's the reason why. And no one and no one respects her. And it's come around to not only to the WWE universe, but to people who talk about her on social media, and they give off their opinions to her.
I think what she should do is tweak her character. I think she should do like a Kurt Angle type of a gimmick, where she's like, she's so perfect, and they show her how perfect she is down people's throats that people boo the hell out of her. Because that's what they did with Kurt Angle. They wanted to push him. They said, but you're going to be this guy that, you're going to be too good, too good looking, too good of a wrestler, and too cocky that they're just going to hate you. And he was. What was the reason for booing Kurt Angle? In theory, what was the reason? He won an Olympic gold medalist for this country. He's a good guy. He preached safe sex. He preached no sex and absence, no sex. I forgot. I know the word. You know what I'm saying? Abstinence. There you go. Thank you, Daryl. Yeah. And he preached, and he did all this stuff. He didn't curse. He's an American hero, and we hated him.
American hero.
I mean, but he walked around telling us how he's so much better than everybody else. And
that was after we booed him for all those months. All he did was say this: "You do not boo an Olympic gold medalist. That's not right." And he's right. Why are we booing an Olympic gold medalist?
But how many Olympic gold medalists are walking around like, I want an Olympic gold medal with a broken friggin' neck?
Because no other one has done it. I never heard of no Olympic gold medalist that won one with a broken neck.
Look, I don't see Michael Phelps walking around talking about, I want a gold medal. I want a gold medal. I want a gold medal. I want a gold medal.
He should, man. He should.
But then again, it's not scripted.
Okay, well, speaking of Kurt Angle, let's talk about his son,
Jason Jordan.
I mean, I could be his son too. But anyways, my man Jason Jordan. I was just going to talk about him. I actually like what they did with him this week. In my opinion, I feel like he comes off as like a delusional Shield member. He's coming out there saying that we're this strong group, that, we're this and we're that and blah, 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 and we're going to take over the business. And Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins just won't accept him. So it seems like he's kind of playing off being Kurt Angle's son. How Kurt Angle was delusional about some things. Delusional, thinking he was cool and he wasn't, just cheesy. I think that fits Jason Jordan's character really well, and the fact that he's trying to go insert himself into the Shield, and they won't accept him, I think really ties into the storyline really good. What do y'all think?
I don't know. I gotta disagree with you. I don't feel like he's that delusional Shield member. I honestly think he don't care about what they think. They go in there and he does what he wants to do. They'll come out and critique what he's doing, tell him what he did wasn't necessarily the right thing, or you gotta, pick your spot, choose your spot, and he goes out and does pretty much what he wants to do. He's not trying to win their approval.
It looks that way.
How does it look that way? For instance, he's going out. He goes out there. He operates differently than they do. For instance, when they came out there, do you see Seth Rollins at ringside interfering in Jason Jordan's match like he did?
Of course not.
This week?
But Jason Jordan interfered in Seth Rollins' match.
Exactly.
So he's trying to insert himself into their group. He wants their acceptance. And Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns won't. That's what I'm telling you,
He's just trying to do things his way.
No, he wants their acceptance.
I don't think it's the acceptance that he wants. He just wants to do things their
So why
way. He wants to win.
Well, okay. Well, Roman Reigns doing a promo. If he doesn't want their acceptance, he doesn't care what they think. Why is he out there talking about Samoa Joe and how we're going to be this great group and blah blah blah? If he doesn't care about their acceptance,
because he fought Samoa Joe.
He fought him. He lost. Roman Reigns beat him. That has nothing to do with him. And that has nothing to do with him being in the group.
He's also the tag team champion with the group member.
And that's what I'm saying. Because of that, it seems like he's trying to insert himself into the Shield, but they won't accept him.
See, my definition of that delusional Shield member was back when Sami Zayn was over there, and you may remember it, but they're standing there talking in the back, and then Sami Zayn is sitting there, and he does the Shield fist, and he puts his fist out, thinking that Roman and Seth were going to put their fist in with him, and they both kind of walked off.
Jason Jordan did that.
Jason Jordan comes in. They could be talking. It's Seth Rollins and Roman talking backstage. He'll come in there like a few weeks ago. He came in, said what he wanted to say, and then he walked off. He ain't standing there like, oh yeah, put it in.
Jason Jordan put his fist out to Seth Rollins as if to say that they were in the Shield together. See, everything that you just said, Jason Jordan has done.
Did he do that to Roman?
He did it to Seth.
He did it. That's his tag team partner. You should be in the team with your tag team.
It wasn't
partner.
in the team. He was trying to extend his stuff like he was part of the Shield, Steven.
Were they tag team partners?
It doesn't matter.
Were they tag team champions?
It doesn't matter.
That's
he wants to be in the Shield.
Team partner.
He wants to be in the Shield.
If you want to be in the Shield, he get the black riot gear.
That's next. I guarantee you, that's next.
So question: is he or is he not a tag team partner?
He is. He's Seth Rollins' tag team partner. They're the tag team champion together.
But is he a Shield tag team partner?
He thinks that he's a Shield. In my opinion, thinks he wants to be part of Shield. But he's not. He's not though. He wants to be. No, it's obvious that he wants to be.
Whose music does he come out to?
His own.
Exactly.
That's because I guarantee you, if they say put this story and come out with us, he'd do it. Based off storyline wise.
I mean, Kurt Angle did it. Triple H did it.
Exactly. But they went away. I guarantee you if they had stayed, and Triple H doing it in that house show was just stupid. That made absolutely no sense. Triple H just wants to be cool. He wants to be cool. He's old, but he still wants to be cool like he's in his 20s.
Triple H is a CEO. Remember, he can do whatever the hell he wants.
He's a COO, and that's just a own character title, anyways. But everything about what Jason Jordan's doing, he really comes across as if he's trying to join the Shield. Is what I'm saying. He looks delusional in the. This is the thing. I actually like the storyline. I think it's funny. I think it's entertaining. And then he says stuff on the mic, and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns look at him and is like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I mean, I think it's really entertaining, like what he's doing. I'm just saying he comes across as a delusional Shield member, especially talking about him being part of their group.
See, but here's my thing. Triple H can insert himself as a Shield member. He can wear the black gear and say he's a part of the Shield whenever he wants to because then Ambrose is out. Jason Jordan can't do that.
He can if they let him.
If they let him, but they won't.
But exactly. But in his mind, because he's tag team champion, he feels like he's part of their group.
But he won't. But they know. But he's not gonna. He's not gonna walk out with that Shield title. Not that title. But that music.
I think if they want to continue the storyline that they're telling, which is him trying to get accepted by Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, I think one day he should run to the ring to save them in his black gear. I think that would get a funny reaction from the crowd, and Seth Rollins and Roman's face looking at that will be absolutely hilarious.
Okay, we'll go with that then.
I would love to see it. So, I don't know. That's my opinion of Jason Jordan. But I'm going to go ahead and go into this segment. This is the segment. We're going to go into my Raging Wrestling Review. This is a segment of the show when I talk about something that been pissed me off in wrestling today. And this is what really pissed me off in wrestling this week. Is the unfair criticism of Sasha Banks. As you all know, Sasha Banks was in a dark match with Paige. Unfortunately, she kicked her in the back, which is a everyday, ordinary move. But just this time, out of all the times that she's been kicked, this really messed her back up to the point where she couldn't even walk away from the match, and her career might be over. Which, granted, is an absolute tragedy. But the idea that everyone is talking about Sasha Banks needs to be fired, Sasha Banks is an unsafe worker, F Sasha Banks, blah blah blah. I don't like Sasha Banks. Why would she do that? Blah blah blah. Are we really going to ignore the fact that Paige has scoliosis? How do you say that shit with your body? They say her back is shaped like a question mark. Her spine is.
What, scoliosis?
Scoliosis, yes. She has that. She had a neck surgery. She had all these problems. And just as in an accident, her back being hurt, you people are going to sit here and criticize Sasha Banks to the point where she should lose her job. It's disappointing. It's disrespectful. And it's just stupid. I don't understand why you people are coming at Sasha Banks like this, especially since Vince McMahon is a hater, especially the same people that used to cheer her name every week. It's crazy, and I think it's unfair to her. And I think, honestly, you people need to shut the hell up. Okay, that's how I feel about that. Sasha Banks deserves to be where she is. It was an accident. It was an unfortunate accident, but it wasn't Sasha Banks' fault. Okay, it was bound to happen based off Paige's history and based off her physical health. It was bound to happen. Okay, if they was really that concerned, based off her history of neck injuries and back injuries, they shouldn't have her working house shows and working every week. She should have a more light schedule, because with the injuries like that was bound to happen. So that's how I feel about that. But since we want to talk about something else that had me raging this week, something else that's been having me raging, this the unfair and disrespect to my main man, Rusev. Okay? The Crush, the man, the Bulgarian brute. One of the most charismatic people in the company, but no one seems to notice. I don't get it. Am I dumb? I still don't get it, okay? He's big, he's strong, he's a good worker. The Rusev Day shirt is selling out. So I would think, okay, Vince McMahon, even though you want to ignore his talent, his charisma, and everything, at least you could see the business aspect of it. Now you could book him strong since the Rusev Day shirts are selling out. They chanting Rusev Day, they're singing along with Aiden English, they're doing all that. But okay, hold up. You telling me 2 weeks in a row he's losing to Fandango? Fandango? You ain't gonna say nothing, Steven? Tell him that's bullshit, Steven. Tell him that's just stupid, Steven.
You know what sucks about this whole situation? And we talked about it a couple weeks ago when we were talking about him not being included in the U.S. title tournament. We both thought that the reason why he wasn't included in the tournament was because they didn't necessarily want him to lose to any of the people that would have been in his bracket.
Exactly.
So I am actually completely thrown off of, if they were trying to actually protect him, why not throw him in the tournament, but then they have him lose 2 weeks in a row.
To Fandango. I'd rather him lose to Xavier Woods. At least he's probably one of the hottest tag teams on SmackDown. Fandango?
I'm like, that means they got him rated lower than the Bludgeon Brothers.
Way lower. Way lower. And Eric Rowan was a known jobber. So what are they doing? And I sit up and I'm observing it. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, okay, why are they treating Rusev like this? It has to be something he did. I mean, what did he do? And I started looking. I'm like, oh, I get it. This is my conspiracy. This is what I think it is. Vince McMahon wants to smash Lana. That has to be it. She's everything that Vince McMahon wants. She's good looking. She's well dressed. She got blonde hair. She has a nice body. And Vince McMahon looks at Rusev and he sees a guy who's not all diesel like him. He doesn't have billions of dollars like me. How come he could pull Lana and I can't? And he must be so angry that he says, I don't care how good Rusev is, I'm not booking him. He obviously wants Lana. And it's obvious that Lana don't want Vince McMahon either. So I don't know what it is, but that's my only thing. That's the only thing I could think of. Can y'all think of anything else?
You know what's funny? He's criticizing the bad booking of Rusev, but a few minutes ago he was just giving, booking a lot of the writing community, a lot more credit than that.
I said that I'm hoping they're smarter than what they were doing with Absolution and the Riot Squad. I was hoping.
Clearly they're not, because they're just trying to ruin Rusev altogether.
I feel like that's not the writing thing. I think that's a Vince McMahon call. I think Vince McMahon doesn't want Rusev to go anywhere. I think
that's all that writing team, man. That's all that SmackDown right.
Vince McMahon. Okay, it was a time when Braun Strowman was written pretty dumb, but then Vince McMahon said, "I want Braun Strowman to become a star." They started writing him a lot better. If someone said, "I want Rusev to be in a better spot," if Vince McMahon just said, "I want him to be in a better spot," I guarantee you the writing team would come up with him doing something better than losing to Fandango. I could imagine that. I mean, we can't give them that much credit, but I guarantee you they didn't write that and said, you know what really get Rusev over? You know what would really make Rusev a star? We're going to have him lose to the worst, most jobbed out tag team on the show 2 weeks in a row.
But they are the second most popular tag team on SmackDown.
No, they're not.
Yeah, Fashion Files?
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
With the Fashion Files?
No, they're not.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
With the Fashion Files, just as a wrestlers.
No, just as
that was the dumbest thing. I like to say on the record, everybody, that's the dumbest thing I've heard Steven say since I've been on this show so far.
Clearly, the Fashion Files is obviously popular since it's been going on now for what, 7 months.
So with
now?
a straight face, you're gonna tell me they're more popular than the Usos?
I said second most popular team.
With a straight face, you're gonna tell me they're more popular than the New Day?
Technically third. They're third.
Wait, what about what?
They weren't even involved in a 4-way tag team match.
Doesn't matter. When they pop up on TV, people pop.
So you don't think the Bludgeon Brothers?
Yeah, they pop right to the bathroom.
You don't think you don't think the Bludgeon Brothers are coming up?
They better than the Fashion File. They beat them in like 10 seconds.
We're not talking about beating. We merely talk about fan reaction.
So you don't think the Bludgeon Brothers are coming up?
Not as faces. They're coming up as heels.
They're in a better spot than the Fashion Police. Honestly, there's absolutely no reason why Rusev should be losing to the Fashion Police. It's not nothing really you could justify to tell me why that makes sense.
Well, actually, technically, teaming up with Aiden English puts you on the Fashion Files level. Just to be real. Before Fashion Files, Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Aiden English was at that same level at the bottom of the card. So, Rusev tagging with Aiden English brings his stock down to the bottom of the card with Aiden English.
Rusev brought Aiden English stock up. I mean, Aiden English, when he was singing them songs, he got one of the best pops of the nights.
And he started bringing him up, but still, that's still as much as Aiden English went up, Rusev came down.
I disagree. I feel like if they had booked him strong, because I was not familiar with Aiden English that much before he tag teamed with Rusev. I don't think the casual fans were that familiar. And I don't remember Aiden English getting jobbed out and losing in 10 seconds every week, like how Fandango and Tyler Breeze was. He was an established jobber. He was just a no-name. And if you bring a no-name and put him...
Jobber?
Who was he jobbing out to?
losing every match that you're on, or just saying, you know what, screw it, we're not even going to write nothing for this
Exactly.
guy. I mean, Hawkins isn't necessarily around every week, but when he showed up, he still lost.
Yeah, he's a jobber. He's an established jobber. Aiden English was not known. No one knew about him. He wasn't known. So to bring an unknown,
he's been around for 2 years.
That's fine. Roster. He was an unknown. He was an unknown though. If you take an unknown and bring him up to a high level, that's better than taking a jobber like Jinder Mahal and trying to bring him up to another level. Jinder Mahal was an established jobber. He wasn't an unknown. So an unknown, you could bring an unknown up because we don't really know what they're capable of. The
Jinder wasn't a established jobber right before they made him champion. They gave him 3 matches with top stars that he gave them go.
He gave him go, yeah. Whatever.
I'm like, he had me believing that they were actually going to let him beat Finn Balor.
What does that say right now, Steven?
I mean, Aiden English, I didn't. His matches, he never had a chance of winning.
He was an unknown, is what I'm saying, Steven.
Only to you. Only to you.
To a lot of people. What is something credible? What do you remember about Aiden English before he teamed with Rusev?
When he used to come out with, his partner got, what is it, Simon Gotch? When he came out to that old-timey music and they went black and, the screen would go black and white. You don't remember any of that, do you? Nothing. Yeah, exactly.
What did he do? He came out in the entrance, Steven. What did he do? Who did he fight? Who did he beat? Who did he
Nobody.
lose to?
He was
he's an unknown, is what I'm telling you.
He wasn't an unknown. They established him at the bottom of the card.
And he moved right up. Fandango has been with the company for 8 years. He is what he is. He's a jobber. He's never going to move up.
He beat Chris Jericho.
Everybody beat Chris Jericho. And you know what's funny about that? He was getting over when he beat Chris Jericho. He looked like he was fitting to be a top star when he beat Chris Jericho, and they turned him into a legit jobber. He stayed that way.
Hey, like I keep saying, Fashion File gets ratings. That's all I'm saying.
They get ratings. Not only do they get a pot, they get ratings.
They get ratings.
So people who don't watch the show are going to tune in because the Fashion File are there.
Damn right.
You got to be crazy. You got to be crazy.
Why would you think they would continue to do it every week?
Someone need to get their ass kicked.
That's true.
Every tag team can't be good.
Hello, but they're not getting beat down.
They lost to 10 seconds.
They just beat Rusev.
And that's one of the poorest, stupid bookings I've seen in a long time. That was a poor choice. Absolutely a poor choice. So that's how I feel about that. But since we talk about Rusev used to be a great United States champion, one of the greatest in my opinion in recent years. But we got a new one, someone else who they like a little better, obviously, now. And Bobby Roode, he won the United States Championship on SmackDown.
Very good match, by the way.
Yeah, it was a good match. Jinder Mahal looked really good. What you think? You think they're going to keep going? Bobby Roode is going to keep moving up the card?
Keep moving up the card?
Yeah.
Not right now. I mean, he's got to be the U.S. champion.
Yeah, well, he's going to establish himself, okay? And United States champion, I think people can become like an upper mid-carder as a U.S. champion if they book him right. So that's what I mean by moving up the card. Like, get right up there to be established himself. Like, oh, man, the next step for him is main event type of thing.
See, I feel like he's already up there at that level.
Yeah.
I mean, because honestly, on SmackDown, as far as the faces are concerned, who's the main event? You got AJ Styles as a face up there.
Listen. That is the main event.
And then, as far as who else is at the top of the card,
doesn't matter. AJ Styles is the main event.
In their main event, you would pretty much have AJ, Nakamura, Randy Orton, and then Bobby Roode.
AJ Styles is the main event.
I mean,
it doesn't matter who he fights. He can fight English, and then
it is the house that AJ Styles built.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't really care who else. I mean, he could fight me, and we'll put on a good match. AJ Styles is the main event. So.
But I mean, but what I'm saying is, he's technically their main event. I mean, hell, Roman Reigns is currently the IC champion. He's still a main event.
Well, my question to you is, why didn't they say this match to the Royal Rumble? Like, what do they have planned for the United States Championship at Royal Rumble? You think there's going to be a rematch between him and Jinder?
Nah. I honestly believe they don't have anything planned for the U.S. at the Royal Rumble. Unless they're going to go with the whole and rush Dolph Ziggler coming back and saying that he's the true United States champion. I don't think there's anything planned. I think this is more a timing thing.
Okay, well, let's get the audience up to date if they didn't know. It's about a month ago, right? From now, Dolph Ziggler, he forfeited his United States Championship.
He forfeited. He
just dropped it off. Well, that was like a forward to me. He just said, y'all can have it. I don't want it. He gave it up. He said he was too good for this, too good for the company, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, no one even stopped him. Like, it would have been nice to see Daniel Bryan say, Dolph Ziggler, why don't you just try a little bit. Work with us. We'll treat you better. But no one did. They just let Dolph Ziggler walk out the door. We haven't seen him since. As far as I know, he's still under contract. So, with Dolph Ziggler being gone, but technically still the real United States Championship because he never lost it, technically. He never got pinned, never submitted. Maybe they're going to go back into Dolph Ziggler versus Bobby Roode, which, unfortunately, wouldn't be as interesting as if, they never fought. Even though they fought, I feel like they were fighting for like 3 months before that even happened, right? Mm-hmm. 3 months straight. So them going back into it again wouldn't have as much interest, but I do think they'll have a good match, and they could have a decent feud.
I don't know, because I'm kind of tired of seeing Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. It's kind of getting tired.
Yeah, they play stuff out quick. They play stuff out real quick. But I don't know what direction Bobby Roode can go in unless they could bring up a surprise for him to fight. Like, who can he fight right now? I don't want to see him and Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
I would love to see him fight Rusev, but, Rusev will probably get cheered, and they haven't booked Rusev strong enough.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, y'all bury Rusev so much, but y'all, as soon as y'all give him a chance, he knocks it out the park. Every single time they gave Rusev a chance, every single thing that he's done, he's knocked out the park. And that's still not good enough. And that's some of the stuff that CM Punk is talking about. Some of the stuff that CM Punk, Daniel Bryan talking about, no matter what they do, no matter how talented they are, no matter how many times they do things and knock stuff out the park and do the assignments they've been assigned to do, WWE Creative, they have a plan of what they want to do, who they want to get over, and it doesn't matter what happens or what's done or what goes on that year or leading up to that whole entire year.
Why don't we...
They're going to do what they have to do. And that to segue into the perfect point, the perfect person, Daryl Tibbs, my main D, absolute favorite wrestler of all time.
You said that's
by far, my main man, Roman Reigns.
Kicking in the nuts.
Roman Reigns, he's another good example of no matter what happens, WWE has a plan. They're going to go with exactly who they want to go with, no matter what happens throughout the years. But first, let's talk about your man Roman Reigns anyways. The steroid accusations, man. What y'all think about that?
He's had a past
with drugs.
Yeah. I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's the best.
It felt drugs. They never said what it was.
They never said what it was, but the fact that he has accusations makes it look really bad about what it was, though. So,
no, that's what I mean. Granted, when it all happened, despite the fact they never said what he felt the test for, they all assumed that it was steroids. So this accusation, honestly, is meaningless. Yeah, the guy said that, oh yeah, I had Roman Reigns and Mark Wahlberg and someone else as a client. Mm-hmm. At this point, it doesn't say when he was a client. Granted, yeah, I sold Roman Reigns some steroids 2 years ago. For Roman, it's like, well, granted, he came out and completely denied it, but he even mentioned, it's like, you know what, I made my mistake a few years ago. That's not something that I would do again. He even mentioned that he's taken 11 drug tests since then, and he's passed them all. So it's one of those situations where I don't really believe it matters.
Hey, like I said, it's not going to affect him. He didn't fail WWE's drug test. All I'm saying is perception. It looks bad from a lot, especially from people who want reasons to hate on Roman Reigns. Perceptions looks really bad. And, so let's just say, we all know in the real world, this ain't going to affect Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns would be good if he was found in his hotel with a needle, and Vince McMahon would probably throw the needle away, cover it up, say, oh, Roman Reigns is to take a vacation real quick, he's a little sick with the flu, bring him back, and act like nothing ever happened, okay? It doesn't matter what this does. We know that this isn't going to affect Roman Reigns.
Are you trying to say that's what happened last year when he was gone? When him and Bray Wyatt was gone for a few years?
Listen, who knows? All we know is perception and what we think.
Wow.
But what I'm saying is we know that Vince McMahon is going to protect his boy because that's
he's going to protect his boy.
Exactly. So, but let's just say, in a different alternate dimension, that this did affect Roman Reigns. And they wanted someone else to main event WrestleMania this year against Brock Lesnar instead of Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. Who would y'all want that to be?
What
in the main event of WrestleMania this year against Brock Lesnar? We know that it's Roman Reigns, but if this affected him to the point where they're not going to go with Roman Reigns, who would y'all want to fill that spot?
You know, since we're talking hypothetically, I'm going to have to go with, currently, I think betting results are showing that he's like third. Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan, I don't think that'd be a good match for him to first come back on. I mean, I don't think he's ready.
Me neither.
I don't know, but right now, odds are showing, despite the fact that he technically hasn't officially been cleared to wrestle, he's ranked as the third option to win it.
That's because we've been wanting him to win it for years. He never won a Royal Rumble, and he was ranked number 1 for years, and he still lost. And in the first year, he wasn't in it. In the second year, it was one of the most weakest, like you said, Steve, one of the weakest eliminations by a major star that you've ever seen, and definitely I have ever seen. And you watched this 8 years before I even knew how to talk right. Like when I was 6, you was watching it as a teenager. So that says a lot. That's the weakest elimination by a major star you ever seen.
I mean, but nonetheless, for somebody who is not even cleared to wrestle to be ranked at number 3,
we're upset as fans. We're upset.
Hell, CM Punk even has odds on the board right now to win the Royal Rumble, and he's not even with the company.
Yeah, we're upset that both of those guys never won a Royal Rumble, especially Daniel Bryan. CM Punk, I feel like he didn't get completely slapped in the face. I mean, yeah, it was that he was there with Batista, but Daniel Bryan got really screwed over in all those WrestleManias. Like, not WrestleMania, Royal Rumbles. That was crazy. And they sit there, they look surprised why their people are getting booed the way they are. But, I mean, look how y'all booked that Royal Rumble. And look how y'all booked Daniel Bryan that whole year. I mean, of course we're going to get behind Daniel Bryan. And it's funny, like, Daniel Bryan is such a good character that y'all book him as such a great face even when he's not supposed to be. Like, Daniel Bryan, I think, is supposed to be a heel in the Shane McMahon rivalry, right? Mm-hmm. He comes off way more likable than Shane McMahon does.
I don't know if he is supposed to be the heel. Is he?
I mean, the way it looks, it seems like
looking that way.
Like he's supposed to be.
Think about it. Okay.
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are heels. They're established heels. Right. And Daniel Bryan is helping them.
But no, how is he helping them? Granted, you're going to say, oh, he put AJ Styles in a 2-on-1 handicap match for the title. Well, before that happened, what happened? AJ Styles like, what? You gonna put me in the 2-on-1 handicap match? He put his foot in his mouth.
I'll say this: he's inadvertently turning into a heel.
Who's that?
Daniel Bryan.
No, it's not inadvertent. We're supposed to boo him. Listen,
but it's all.
He saved their job, even though Shane McMahon didn't want to.
That's why I say inadvertently.
Yeah, he's helping the heels. It's not all the time. I mean, he did a quick pin.
He's helping the heels. Same thing. The U.S. title. Why was the U.S. title match on SmackDown? Why? Because Bobby Roode opened his mouth and challenged Jinder Mahal for the title right then and there. Same thing with Daniel Bryan saving Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's job. Why they save their jobs? Because Shane McMahon has this clear vendetta against them. Mm-hmm. So the reason why he interjected himself and technically helped or saved Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn isn't because he's turning heel. It's because that Shane McMahon is, showing shades of Vince, and he has this vendetta against them.
Well, this is my thing, though. This is what I'm saying, Steven, is despite how the story looks, which makes sense, Daniel Bryan, I guarantee they didn't go into this saying, okay, Shane McMahon, you're going to turn heel. You're going to be this unlikable jerk that no one likes and people boo. And Daniel Bryan, you're going to be this nice, loving baby face that turns Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn into sympathetic characters. I guarantee you the writing team, and if that's what you think the writing team was doing, you're giving them more credit than what you think. I guarantee you that...
Isn't that completely what has happened? They are sympathetic.
No. What I'm saying is...
They did nothing wrong.
What I'm saying is that WWE booked themselves in the corner so crazy and dumb sometimes that they make Daniel Bryan such a great face by accident. And turn people heels by accident. Batista wasn't supposed to be a heel. But
they did nothing to turn Batista heel. The fact was, when Batista came in, there's like, Batista's going to come back. He's going to win the Royal Rumble. And then at WrestleMania, he's going to fight Randy Orton.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that would have people would have hated it, but they wouldn't have hated it as much if they didn't book Daniel Bryan in the storyline that whole year.
I hated it 3 months before the Royal Rumble happened.
I know you did.
The moment that they announced it, I called just Aaron. Why in the world is Batista coming back to win the Royal Rumble and fight Randy Orton?
It makes no sense. I hated it. I hated it too. Hey, listen, I agree with you. I hated it, but I'm saying Daniel Bryan's actually lose the way that Daniel Bryan was booked that year played a big factor in why people were so pissed off that he wasn't even in the match. So I don't know, man. So that's just my opinion on it. But if I had to choose a different person to win to the main event at WrestleMania, even though they're about to fight, I would go with Braun Strowman.
Me too.
Yeah, I would like to see that at WrestleMania in the main event. You know, and I say just actually take Braun Strowman out the match, save it for WrestleMania, have him win the Royal Rumble, win, and have the main event WrestleMania and win the title. But they don't want to do that. They don't want Braun Strowman to take Roman Reigns' spot. But I think he should, in my opinion.
I think the reason why is because I think they're tired of seeing Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns because it's been done so many times.
Well, they took a big break. I haven't seen them fight in months, and everything that they did was pretty fun. Like, I loved that feud. That was one of my feuds of the year, honestly. So, who did you say again, Steven? You said Daniel Bryan. Okay, we both agreed to Braun Strowman, and my second option would be Finn Balor, but they gotta reestablish that man.
I think they have been. And I mean, technically, right now they've been establishing him as a heel, so he doesn't necessarily have to win as much. And him being with the club, in theory, you have Brock walk in as the face and him go in as a heel, and with the club's help, beat Brock.
How long do you think Brock will hold on to the title?
All the way to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The plan is...
Unless they decide to go with putting it on Braun.
They're not going to do that. What's going to happen is he's going to beat both of them. Kane's going to take the pin. Roman Reigns is going to fight. Hopefully, Roman Reigns finds a different way of fighting Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, because I don't want him to win the Royal Rumble, because I'm tired of seeing him get booed, and I'm tired of Royal Rumble turning out in such an underwhelming, stupid fashion every year. When's the last fun Royal Rumble we had? It's been a while. So let's just go with something different.
No, the last couple of Royal Rumbles haven't been that bad.
The one with Triple H wasn't bad. All I'm gonna say is I didn't like Triple H winning it to win the belt. I thought that wasn't fun. I thought that was kind of dumb. But it was a fun Royal Rumble, and Roman Reigns didn't get booed. But I don't want Roman Reigns to win the Royal Rumble, especially that year when he came out number 30, even though he had a match earlier that night. I mean, people.
Back in the day, I mean, you can hate on people having matches, but I'm sorry, a lot of people back in the day used to have matches and then go in the Royal Rumble. Hell, Bret Hart had a tag team title match the year that he won the Royal Rumble and lost his tag team titles in that match. So, I mean, having a match on the show and then being in the Royal Rumble.
Did he come in at number 30?
Came in later in the Royal Rumble. He came in near towards the end.
Roman Reigns coming there at number 30 was recipes for him to get booed out the building. Especially since we know that Samoa Joe. Since we were expecting Samoa Joe to come back, who we were anticipating, who debuted the next night after that happened. So I mean, we could both agree that didn't make any sense and why people hated it so much. We could at least understand why people hated it.
It's because it was Roman.
Yeah,
Roman could have came in as number 1 and they still would have hated it.
Probably so, especially if he was going to win. But number 30, yeah, that was a bit much. Speaking of Roman, let's talk about his cousin. What y'all think about the drunk Jey Uso?
Man.
Unlike Roman, that is going to affect him a lot more.
Yeah.
Though, of course, it's because he got a DUI now. It's not like, he can't tell, like, oh, yeah, I was drinking 3 years ago and got this, it just happened. But, I mean, they may be a little bit more forgiving. I guess it depends on how drunk he was. Because I think it may have been low enough that he won't face any criminal charges, but it's going to be a big setback. I wouldn't be surprised if Gable and Benjamin win the titles this week.
Yeah, I know he has to pay a fine that much.
Yeah, Jimmy Uso is the one dating Naomi, right?
I get them mixed up. I don't know.
I get them mixed up all the time.
Okay, if it's Jimmy, I think that he can try to go solo. I think that he always had he's a more charismatic Uso, and he's talented in the ring. and I think he has good mic work and all that. I think that he could try to go solo. And I don't think they're going to try it, but I think they should try it out, especially if they're going to punish Jey.
From what I hear online, I heard that if it's that bad, I heard that the Chad and Gable might win the titles.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. So is Fashion Police more popular than Chad and Gable as well?
Chad and Gable have gone heel.
Yeah, they definitely gone heel.
Fashion Police has gone heel too. So
Fashion Police are faces.
Are they faces?
Yeah, they're faces.
Okay, I don't like
Rusev Day. Despite no matter how much you love Rusev Day is still technically a heel tag team.
Hey, they selling out shows, selling out shirts.
I mean, when they produce 5 of them, it's easy to sell out.
No, hell no. That was a good joke, but no. It was more than 5. They was selling out, man.
They're not printing a whole bunch. The way they booking Rusev, I already know they're not printing out 300 Rusev Day T-shirts to sell at a house show.
I heard that it was a high selling shirt on the show, so that's a big deal.
It's not a lot of people on that show got shirts though. You got AJ Styles who got merch. You realize Jinder Mahal barely has merchandise.
Of course, he's a heel. He's a horrible heel.
No, but everyone else, like it's actually so bad. Think about it. Right now, they actually try to brand every single solitary superstar with some tagline, with some symbol or something. When Jinder Mahal was WWE champion, you know what his faceplates looked like? They just said Jinder Mahal. He had no symbol, no logo.
I don't care about Jinder Mahal.
Surprised.
Jinder Mahal wasn't going to sell. Rusev Day is selling.
But every other heel has a logo.
That's fine. Jinder Mahal, I don't care what his logo was, he wasn't going to sell.
They didn't even put the modern day Maharaja on his belt. They just Jinder Mahal.
He wants to keep talking about Jinder Mahal like anybody gives a fuck.
Don't disrespect Jinder, man. Don't.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just threw the shirt back or something.
Like anybody cares. No one cares about Jinder.
I don't like it.
Give that man credit for his hard work.
He did. He got his body in shape.
He got it back in shape and everything. But I feel like
you gotta give these guys credit for hard work. I mean, granted, it's no Daniel Bryan situation or anything like that, but you got some guys, Jinder, who once got fired.
Who? Oh.
Jinder Mahal, he got fired a few years ago.
Oh yeah.
And he went out and he did the Indies thing, and he started to turn himself around, got rehired, started working hard, and moved up the card. You gotta appreciate that.
I respect it. Let's talk about hard work. Speaking of hard work, let's talk about my main man, The Miz. He's back. He cut an amazing promo talking about vowing to get his IC Championship belt back.
Still not appreciated.
No, he deserves a lot more respect. He's the man. I think he should be Universal Champion, but he ain't going to beat Brock Lesnar, so I understand. Yeah, he's not beating Roman Reigns either, I don't think. At least not fair. I mean, maybe someone will come out there and cheat for him to get this belt back. But I'm happy he's back. I think it was a good return. I feel like it was lackluster. I think he could have done a little bit more in his return. But he did cut a promo like he always does. As we know, he's about to team up with Asuka.
Scott.
versus Biggie Langston and Carmella. Miz and Asuka winning that match, correct? Because she can't lose.
They're winning the whole thing.
Okay, I gotta believe that, right?
By the way, if anyone doesn't know, Carmella and
Big E.
No, Carmella and her boyfriend are broken up. They are no longer together.
Oh wow! Poor Cass.
Poor Cass.
Yeah, he had it rough. I hope he didn't cheat on him.
He's having a rough year.
He got hurt.
He's
hurt. Lost his girl, lost his push. I wouldn't be surprised if he lost his smile.
Yeah, he's lost. So he's lost it all.
And he's missing WrestleMania.
He's missing everything. So big out to you, Cass. If we had music, we play it for you.
Yeah, I'm playing you a violin, brother, man. I hope you get it back. I'm hoping you get it back, man.
Yeah, bro.
But everything about this mixed match challenge thing, I really do like it, man. I like the odd pairings. I'm hoping that we find some people who actually stick it out longer than what we expect, and hopefully Rusev and Lana can stick together, because that seems to be the only time they book them strong. But Vince McMahon has his vendetta against Rusev because he wants Lana. That's really what I think. I really think that. That's why he split them up. That's the real reason why he was pissed off that they announced their proposal.
I mean, no. The reason why they were mad that they announced a proposal
Kayfabe, right?
was that storyline wise, y'all not together. Y'all supposed to be at odds with each other. And we got you with we got Rusev with Summer Rae. We got Lana with Dolph Ziggler. In the midst of the storyline, it's like, oh, we're engaged. No. You just ruined everything because you just said, oh yeah, no.
It's not a big deal.
We're fighting on TV, but
it's not a big deal, Steve.
It's a big deal.
We know that wrestling is fake. I mean, I feel like more kids believe that Santa Claus is real than believe that wrestling is real. I seriously feel like it has kayfabe is dead. They killed it. Everything about what y'all done in the company, y'all killed kayfabe.
Kayfabe ain't technically
It is dead.
Not really. I mean, you got the people who are probably listening to us on this podcast right now that recognize and know everything like that. But, for a casual fan,
think about what they've done.
For instance, the casual fan don't know that Dean Ambrose and Renee Young are married.
They do. They know that they're in together.
The casual fan. See, you keep thinking that you're the casual fan, and you're not.
They've dated on TV.
Once again, the casual fan don't know that. The people who go out and are on the internet fans, which technically we probably would be, or the what do they call them? The smart fans.
What's a casual fan to you, Steve?
A casual fan is that person that turns the TV on. Actually, the casual wrestling fan was you 10 years ago.
Okay, I watch Raw every single week.
You watch Raw every single week. Yes, you watched Raw. You turned Raw on, you watched it, you turned it off, and then you came back the next week.
I knew Liz and Edge were dating.
That's the casual fan.
I knew Edge and
10 years
were
ago,
dating.
they were dating on TV.
Yeah. Exactly, and Dean Ambrose and Renee Young were on TV dating together. They were together, and she said that they were together.
A week.
And the Miz said that Jay, you're the one sleeping together, and it was obviously that she confirmed that.
But once again, it was like a week. But the casual fan is somebody who watches it, and that's it. We're not the casual fan. You're not going out and, casual fans aren't on YouTube, watching YouTube videos, seeing what's going on behind the scenes. The casual fan isn't listening to VGR Lockdown on YouTube right now. Though, they watch the show, they turn it off, and they go about their business. They don't know what happened on the house show. They don't know that Brock Lesnar's married to Sable. There are certain things the casual fan don't know. They don't really pay attention to what behind the scenes are. My daughter would technically probably be a casual fan. She watches it, she cheers for Bailey, and and that's it. That's the casual fan.
So what's a casual fan?
Casual, just that.
What's a fan that watches Raw, SmackDown, and the people that pay attention to the people that the videos on YouTube.
Those they consider those smart fans or internet fans because they're paying attention to the behind the scene things. They know that Aiden English is married to Shaw Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero's daughter. Mm-hmm. They know that type of stuff. Casual fans don't. Did you know that he was married into the Guerrero family?
I did not. To be honest with you, I had no idea about that. So I guess I'm borderline. Maybe I'm kind of casual too. So I had no idea about that.
I've been trying to get you off that casual fan line for the last 5 years. I mean, right. You're coming along.
So let's say if I was subscribed to Wrestle Talk Radio on YouTube, what would I be considered?
You start leaving that casual fan stuff because they're going to be talking about behind the scene things. Mm-hmm. So you're going to learn a little bit more about what's going on, what happens, why. Sasha Banks. People hate Sasha Banks because Paige got hurt in the spot. So it's almost the level of information you're getting about professional wrestling in whole.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you, Daryl. My final question: what are some things that WWE can do to improve their product to the way that to make it more of an enjoyable product in your eyes?
Let's see. Well, to make it more enjoyable, if it were my call, I would leave it up more to the fans, but then I know they're not going to do that. Leave it more up to the fans.
Listen to us.
Yeah, thank you. Listen to us, and meet us halfway, and 50% halfway, and 50% to the the officials, and like 50 like Vince McMahon.
Like backstage officials.
Backstage.
I got you. So the higher ups.
Yeah, higher ups or whatever. So listen to I guess take a listen to what we have to say basically. So.
Yeah, like if someone is selling shirts and they're winning and they're succeeding, putting on good matches and good promos, don't have them lose to one of the worst jobber tag teams in the whole entire company. That's a good way of listening to us. If you hear this, Vince, that's a great way. I mean, that'll go a long way. That'll go a hell of a long way. Okay.
Well, actually, I honestly don't think I think Vince's time is kind of up.
Oh, it's done. He's out of touch. I hope he reopens at XFL, takes a step back, and goes away.
I mean, you keep saying he's out of touch, but just remember, your favorite guy right now, Braun Strowman, that's all because of Vince.
Like I said, when I say he's out of touch, it doesn't mean that, oh man, everything he does is bad. I just feel like his whole
when you start classifying somebody as being out of touch, that's pretty much what you're saying.
No, criticism is different from saying someone completely sucks at his job. He's one of the most successful wrestling promoters of all time. Vince McMahon, no, without a doubt, he's one of the most successful wrestling promoters of all time. So you would think that he'll come up with some good stuff every now and again. But I'm just saying his overall skill.
He came up with Braun Strowman.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. He's going to come up with some good ideas every now and again. But his overall scheme of thought process of what he does in wrestling is just not good. It's out of touch. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think it's out of touch.
Yes, he came up with Braun Strowman.
Strowman. He gave Triple H free reign over NXT.
Yeah.
That's still those are Vince McMahon decisions.
That was out of laziness.
That's not out of laziness.
That's dumb. And now he's taking over. And then when it became successful, he came over there and tried to interfere with their stuff too.
Not at all. He's still letting Triple H do whatever he wants in NXT.
And then when Triple H makes these guys stars at NXT and brings them up to the main roster, Vince McMahon kills their momentum and buries them. So how is that good in any way?
Whoa. He doesn't bury all of them.
Most of them.
Nah, 50-50.
Way more than 50-50.
50-50. Is he burying Nakamura?
Nakamura's not as good as he really should have been.
Whoa. But is he burying him? Is he buried?
He's not a champion.
It doesn't matter.
He's not a main eventer, as far as I'm concerned. His character has gone drastically down since he was NXT. He buried Bo Dallas. He buried Tyler Breeze.
You're trying to go there.
Okay.
Let's talk. Products of the NXT universe. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Braun Strowman,
they don't count.
Finn Balor. They all count because why? They all came through what again? NXT.
That was before they were what they are now. That's different. They weren't even in their own brand back then.
Actually, they were their own brand.
They weren't on the subscription. You couldn't subscribe to the brand, so it doesn't matter.
Hey, look, Bobby Roode, NXT.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. I mean, you talk about all of this burying that gets done to these NXT people. Sure, there are some get buried. But outside of Bo Dallas, what NXT champion has been buried?
You said NXT champion.
What former NXT champion has been buried outside of Bo Dallas?
I'll say Damian Sandow.
Never NXT champion.
He had to have been NXT champion.
No, sir.
He never won it?
No. Seth Rollins was the first official NXT champion. Then the belt went to Big E. Then it went to Bo Dallas. Then it went to Neville. Once again, what former NXT champion outside of Bo Dallas has been buried again?
Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn is technically the number 2 heel on SmackDown behind Kevin Owens.
He's no main eventer, and he was
so once again. What you're saying is you got nothing.
You say I have nothing.
You got nothing.
Most of those guys was buried, man.
You got nothing. You got the guys that were.
That's a bull to say that. Because you never won an NXT champion. They were still top guys on the show. They came through NXT.
They were not top guys.
Tyler Breeze was the top guy on NXT.
Tyler Breeze was a guy that chased the title, never won it.
He was the top guy just
He
because
was
he
a
never
bri-
won a top. That's like saying
he
that
was a
Roddy Piper
bridesmaid,
wasn't a
never a
top
bride.
guy because he never won a WWE champion. Just because they never won an NXT champion doesn't mean they weren't legitimate stars on that respective brand. I think that's a stupid argument to make. That
But
because
Tyler
they weren't
Breeze
champion,
wasn't the star. He was never the
he
star.
was a top guy on the show.
No, he wasn't. He was a side chick. That's all he was. He was just there.
He's a utility player. He was one of the top play people on the show.
He was just there.
He was not just there.
He was just there.
He wasn't just there.
Just there.
I don't agree with that.
Go back and watch it. Use your WWE Network subscription. Check that
Braun
out.
Strowman was just there. I'll give you that.
I mean, he was a rosebud.
No. Oh, well. Oh, well.
But you know what? Hey, that's all the time we got for today. Thanks for joining us on another episode of VGR Lockdown. Make sure you check out our videos on YouTube. Check out the website. We out.